lads and lasses. Today, the news is broke by the Sun that Celtic are on the brink of signing Thomas Henry for £7 million, which equates to around 13.2 Australian million dollars. Now, much like you all, I woke up this morning not having a clue who this Donny was. So, like all Celtic fans, I went to YouTube, looked up his highlights, went to his wiki, found out a bit about himself. So today we're going to cover, firstly and most importantly, who Thomas Henry is. Then secondly, why Celtic would be interested in someone like him, and then my own thoughts and opinions on the matter. So, straight into it, who is he? Well, he's a French striker, and we all know our history with French strikers. He's a 6'4" target hitman playing in the Belgian top flight for a club known as OH Leuven. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. From watching his highlights and looking at his stats, he appears to be a very prolific goal scorer. You know, he's very adept with both feet. He can score with both feet, that means. He's very good at his penalties, and for such a big man, he's actually got quite impressive footwork. Now, for his stat-wise, he has got 41 goals and 12 assists in the 71 games he's played for his club. Now, that to me is quite good, if you ask me. 41 goals and 12 assists, that's 53 goal contributions, direct goal contributions in 71 games. Now, the only criticism I'd have on him is that he doesn't track back. Obviously, he's a big man, he's 6'4". He's meant to just be there around the box, head it in, tap it in. He's got a powerful shot if he wants to do a bit of fancy footwork, but he doesn't track back, unlike the best number 9 in the world, Kyogo Furuhashi. So obviously, that's a bit of a rundown on who he is, how he goes up front, and what he's like as a player. Now, to the main part of the video is why are Celtic interested in him? Now, the first reason I can think of, and the most obvious reason I think it is that odds on Edouard is set to leave. He's either completed a transfer fee, Celtic have completed a transfer fee, whether it be Roma, Crystal Palace, Brighton. They haven't released it yet. He's set to leave. We're set to get a windfall of maybe £15 million afterwards. PSG take their money, take their share away because they've got a 40% transfer clause. Now, if he's coming as a replacement for Edouard, right now Edouard's on the bench, okay? Now remember that. Now this is £7 million we're talking about. Regardless that we're getting 15 million for Edouard, £7 million. That's 1 million less than we paid for Odds On, who was amazing for our club while he was interested. And it's around 1 million more than we paid for Chris Julian. Okay, so put that in perspective. It's in the top 3 most expensive Celtic transfers of all time, okay? And from the looks of it, he's going to be a backup to Kyogo or a respite player. Now, £7 million, you expect, especially for a club like Celtic, that he'll go straight into the starting team. He'll be the star of the team, okay? He'll change the way we play. But if he's going to be a backup striker, how on hell is he going to do that? I don't know. And that's the thing. I have no clue why we're bringing him in if he's a backup striker. And a lot of people might say, Ange might want to try out a 2-striker formation. But the problem with that is that I'm Australian. Ange Postecoglou started his career down here in Australia. He coached Brisbane Roar and he coached the national team. And not once did I ever watching him, did he ever play with 2 strikers. It was always a 3-striker formation, three up-front formation with 1 designated number 9. And that's exactly, more or less what he's playing with Celtic right now, with Kyogo up top, Christie and Abada on his either side. So I don't see how you bring in Henry into this team, because right now Kyogo is our number 9. No questions asked. He is the player. He's going to be the Scottish Premier League's top goal scorer this season, okay? Without a doubt. Now, God forbid he gets injured, I don't see why we're spending £7 million on a backup for him, because if you think about it, if Odds On leaves, we have 2 designated backups. We have Lee Griffiths and we have Albion Ajeti. Now, Ajeti did impress me in pre-season before he got his knock, but there is no chance I see him kicking Odds On off as the best backup or replacing Kyogo, okay? There's no chance in hell. But I don't see why £7 million on a backup player is necessary. Look, you've got Kevin Nisbet, for example, plays for Hibernian. We could easily get him for £4 million, I'd say. And if you get him for $4 million, that leaves you with $11 million to strengthen the other positions which we more crucially need. And that includes a backup right back for Anthony Cafu-Ralston. We need, I'd say, in my opinion, a better left back. I like Greg Taylor, but I don't think he's right for the team. I feel we need someone stronger, a bit faster, a bit better going up. And then I feel like we get a replacement, maybe a backup to put onto Christie's left-hand side, maybe Christian Lovridge, the Croatian. But that's for another day. Right now we're talking about Henry, and I don't see how he makes the team, and I don't see why £7 million on a backup striker, regardless of his qualities, because he's a quality striker, don't get me wrong, he's really, really good. But I don't see him knocking off Kyogo. Kyogo Furuhashi is just scored a hat-trick against Dundee in his home debut start, okay? That is incredible. He's not going to lose his jersey because he's just going to keep on scoring and scoring and scoring, touch wood. But, you know, if the manager ever wants to rest him or, you know, Europa League games, I feel, honestly, I would like to have Henry in the team. I really would, but I don't want to pay $7 million for him, regardless of us getting a lot of money for odds on Edouard. So, my opinions on this are... Look, I've basically just said it. I feel $7 million is too much for a backup striker, regardless of his qualities. You know, Kevin Nisbet, I think, is a much better option. Two-striker formation, if Ange wants to go with that, I don't feel he should. I'm not the manager, of course. I can't choose what he does, but I don't feel he should be trying a two-striker formation in a season as crucial as this for Celtic. Especially because, and also we've seen how well the three up front work, all right? How about against Dundee? Hearts, I reckon, if Kyogo was there instead of Odds-on, we would have won that game without a doubt. Odds-on just isn't interested at the moment. He deserves to go. Get our money for him. Get that done. And, you know, yeah, I don't feel, even if Henry comes into this team and tries to put pressure on Kyogo for his jersey, you can't see Kyogo losing his jersey anytime soon. He's my favourite player. He's the probably fan favourite right now. He's scoring goals for fun. He's the best thing that's happened to us in quite a long time. And, you know, yeah, I just don't see it happening. I don't think he's the right move. If we can get him for less, if we can get him for maybe... I don't know how much less we can get him because Swansea had a bid knocked back for the same player, for Henry, for $6 million. So if we bump that up to $7 million, I think we're paying overs. We're definitely paying overs. Like, he's a quality player, but yeah, no. I don't think it's the right move for Celtic. Obviously, if Ange makes it work, I will never, ever question another one of the transfer rumours again, but we also have to remember, at the end of the day, no reliable journalists have reported this. It's the Sun we're talking about. You have to remember. It's the Sun. It's not Fabrizio Romano, who I trust with my whole life. It's the Sun. So there's a great chance this is just rumours. It's not going to happen, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's my opinion. He'd be a class player for Celtic, but I feel $7 million is too much for a backup. We could be spending that money better in other places. Yeah. My next video, I think, will be playing Jablanek on Thursday. I'll be doing a review of that. I'm not going to be watching it live because this is a very awkward time for me. I'll be watching a replay of it, not knowing the score. I'll give my opinions on that, and I'll see you guys next time. Hail, hail.